That way if you cut through the skin, that's not an important part of the chicken. You want to drain as much of the juice out, that's water and blood. And then I'm going to show you how to truss a chicken if you're going to roast it whole. First thing you're doing is removing the excess fat. Go under the tail, across the legs. I want to put these wing tips underneath. And if those wing tips are sticking up, they're going to burn. Then you just pull that together, bring it all the way to the back here. And then you take the string, you go over 1, 2, 3 times. And then just pull it tight. By going around it 3 times, see, that keeps the string from slipping when you do that. So all you have to do is tie it off and you're done. But we're not going to roast it because we don't have enough chickens. I'm going to show you how we're going to cut it up today. And there's hundreds of different ways to cut up a chicken. But I'm going to show you this one. You just cut down between the leg and thigh and the breast, just a little bit, and then break the joint of the thigh where it meets the backbone. Then you just go along the backbone with your knife until you get to that joint. Stop as soon as you get through that joint, and use your thumb to get out what we call the oyster. That's the oyster right there. Okay? And then just pull it and cut it off right there. So you have the leg and the thigh with the oyster intact. Now if you want to separate the leg from the thigh, there's this fat that runs right through here. All you need to do is just a little bit above that fat, run your knife through, and you have a leg and a thigh. So one student's going to cook leg and thigh, the other one's going to cook breast. So we do the same on this side. Just go through a little bit until you can separate it and break that off from the backbone. And from the backbone, you go down through. As soon as you get through that joint, you get out the oyster. Okay? Once again, we cut it, and I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to separate that leg and thigh. The next thing we do is up here is the sternum, or the breastbone. The sternum is bone back here, and it then becomes cartilage up here. So you don't want to push too hard when you're going down there, but go on one side of the sternum with your knife, get under that wishbone, and then just right up to the front, and then turn your knife and you go over the rib cage. Until you get down to this joint. There's a joint right down here. Just go through that joint. Okay? There you have your breast. It's boneless with the wing on. Okay? And to make it an airline breast, you just go below the second joint here, go all the way around, push down, and you have an airline breast. Okay? That's all there is to it. Now this is called the tenderloin. A lot of people take that out. They think that the tenderloin keeps the breast from cooking as quickly. You can take it out. You could use that for an appetizer, make some extra money out of it. Use it for chicken fingers, things like that. With this, usually gets put in the stock pot, but you can make what's called a lollipop wing by putting it down on the board here, pressing those bones through, removing the smaller of the two bones. I can't remember if that's the radius or the ulna. Anybody remember from biology? Then you remove that cartilage at the very wingtip. Just move the meat down. And that's a little lollipop way, okay?
Those are really popular right now, Chef.
Are they?
Yeah, a lot on TikTok. Anybody else?
You can bread that. I mean, normally it gets thrown in the stock pot. I would salt it up really good and then make something out of it as a, give it out free at the bar. And why do we want to put a lot of salt on it? Anybody have any idea? The bar is the highest profit centers in the restaurant. So if you put a lot of salt in that, it's going to make them thirsty, sell more drinks. Don't let them go out the door and drive drunk. Okay? So here we're going to get the other side of the breast off. Again, down around the rib cage. The other thing you can do, it takes a lot of time, but you can go in the back here and actually scrape down that wishbone and pull the wishbone out if it hasn't been broken in processing. And you'll get this little bit of meat that's there. But you can also just take that meat off and use it for dumplings or a bunch of different things. Depending on, you know, the amount, when you start figuring the amount of labor you have, is it worth it to spend a lot of money on that carcass, or is it better just to throw it in a stock pot? Okay. Again, all the way around below that chicken joint, break it off, and you have an airline breast. Okay? Any questions? I'm going to leave these in here. Some of you want to try doing the lollipop, you can do that. But I'm just going to go ahead and process all these up. You guys start your mise en place and then come up and get your chicken. It's on ice, so it'll be fine. You can wait for it, okay? Thank you. Push the red button. Quickly.